Ragnhild May. Here you go.
This is my first poem written in the Stone Age. Most of all, I feel like saying I'm sated, tired, empty-headed. It's not like I go around imagining life becoming better tomorrow. Perhaps I fuck, eat, get sleep. If it gets cold, rains, snow, I'll seek shelter. Oh? Does that go without saying? I fetch water by the river. A big, hairy beast sees me, snarls, attacks. Violence is necessary. Afterwards, while the body of the beast is still steaming hot, I form, along with those who helped. You haven't helped. A circle around it, you are not included, as if it was a bonfire. What you call metaphors, is that something like sitting with your food, imagining what it would be like if all the meat still remained on the ox, if the axe hadn't been dulled from wear, saying, "Ha, little ox, stop that running, I'll chop a piece of you with my sharp axe." I use the things as they are. Things that are hard, I use hard. Things that are soft, I use soft. Stones I hit with, grass I lie upon. The way I understand it, you write poetry for someone that would like to take the time to read, but I don't know what it means to read. Actually, I haven't even an idea as to what, for example, a name is, and I don't call my action or yours for anything at all. So this is in every respect a strange situation. Even if you pointed, I wouldn't understand what it meant. I would probably look at your arm, but not conclude anything. First, I had to find out what needs I had. Later, I had to find out how my needs could be fulfilled, as if I had been my own baby. I'm still a beginner here in the Stone Age. I haven't even found myself a place to live. It's been almost random where I have settled. This poem cannot become art unless it's something you make of it. Over there where there was a bush that's not there anymore. Over there where we killed a pig while it was snowing. Over there where it's impossible to sleep because of all those cats. There was a time when there were stones there of different sizes. Perhaps there's still some left, and if so, perhaps I can use some of them as heads for my axes. As far as above, I would never get in my thinking before I had started. Every time, everything takes a long time because I myself or others have to start over every time. It doesn't matter, I don't know what I should do instead. The days are long, and very few activities are invented. It comes naturally to me to extend myself with tools, and I'm aware that it's distinguishing me from the beasts. Stone beats muscles. I can imagine how good it is for you when you kill an ox or horse. You should know that I feel the same way. I can imagine how good it is for you when you kill an ox or a horse. You should know that to me it's the same way. I can imagine how good it is for you when you kill an ox or a horse. You should know that to me it's the same way. My struggle for survival is also your struggle, more yours than mine really. I'm alive as it happens. It's a struggle that can result in you not existing. Your struggle, on the other hand, can't change my life. Well, I'm right here. I guess these poems are a lot like the skin you take from a deceased. It contains a remnant of the sweat of the dead that you sooner or later will have to wash away. You probably imagine that I'm wildly curious, that I would like to hear about all kinds of things to be experienced where you are, but I don't think there's anything to talk about. I can't see where I should have heard of such differences. Just to communicate in a meaningful way, I have to know more than I know. It's as if I'm both you and me, but only speaks of me, because I know that I don't know anything about you. Poets would die young here in the Stone Age, like everybody else. It's interesting to you that the grass is not being cut by anyone here, but I don't know it. I think you see the tall straws without me having to mention them. I often get sick from the food, because it's difficult to know what is food. I'm the first Stone Age man, along with my job as discoverer and inventor of everything. I have to write poems that I don't understand myself, that I myself cannot write. I can't imagine it being any different. I'm not conscious of being the first Stone Age man, but I'm writing it to you so that you better will be able to understand me. I'm more your Stone Age man than I'm mine. I have to move everything myself if I want it moved, or I have to get someone to at the same time understand the task and complete it without any other language than the one we come up with together. Even in cases of physical superiority, enforcement is difficult under these terms. It's too cold for me to be anywhere, but I have to be somewhere anyway. I don't feel like moving, but I have to move a process that generates a bit of heat like being at different places all the time, simultaneously. That's what I'm trying to do, to get some heat at a place I reach in a little while. Let the work makes a difference, makes it meaningful, makes my life meaningful. That is the meaning which concerns me, not the cold. It's almost always the elements that wakes me up in the morning. If I wake up without thinking about wind and weather or the noise of a woodpecker, it's a good day. Day, night, and a vague concept of seasons is my sense of history. The last time it was cold, the little girl died. I know not of either fun nor earnesty. To me it makes no difference how my mood behaves. Instead I'm concerned with other things. For instance, that I'm hunting this rabbit. This is what is important. I can't interact with anyone who isn't close by. They don't know where I am when they can't see me. It's not possible to agree on anything. When it's cold, we lie down close to each other and hold on. It's only you I can speak to in this manner. I don't even address myself with thoughts that are so carefully worded. You're the only one listening, and I get nothing in return that I can use down here in nature. My plans, besides from wanting to survive, don't go far. It would be different if I had concepts to think with, but here life is simple. There is never doubt for very long. It's mostly things like being burned and therefore removing the hand, to have meat and therefore eat, to be horny and therefore fuck. Well, it's both good and bad. It only depends on what happens. It would be easier to write if I had experiences with reading. If others after me had written, I would like to know what they chose to write about. I can tell you that yesterday down by the water I saw a creature that moved every time I moved. After a little while I got angry and hit hard down towards it in the water. I'm certain that I hit, but it only looked maliciously at me and I couldn't feel its body. Knowledge makes everything easier and more pleasant for us here in our time. First World War hasn't disillusioned us. For example, I show someone how a bonfire can be used to get heat, and by watching them warm themselves, I after a while learn to masturbate, and that teaches them to do the same. I perceive everything around me by means of a body I don't understand, but I assume it resembles other bodies I see. I don't think about my appearance. It's only experiences that matters, and what I do. Self-sufficiency is a question of life and death. Trade isn't invented yet. The greatest moment of my life was beyond doubt when I came up with using stones for the killing of animals. First from up close, later when I learned to throw, it was all of a sudden as if I had gotten enormously long arms. And when I at last got a stone attached to a stick, I had got a notion of God, or an impression of God. Me. It was also good. When I realized I could threaten with my new weapons, soon I had gathered everyone nearby. At first they were afraid. Later I teach them how to do it, and we became friends. One day I came up with moving all the plants that I liked to eat closer to where we lived by digging them up from one place and planting them another. Then the others spontaneously began clapping. That was also something new. I imagine the future being like now, that I'm the man of progress to you, that I that have taught man to survive by hitting beasts with something hard or by throwing stones at them also would be in charge among you, be leader. You measure my life upon whether I find myself a partner, whether I get vigorous offspring, whether I create something to the benefit of mankind. I myself am just trying to complete the movements that I start. I'm the transformative principle that gave man the opportunity to survive a lot easier. I freed many hours for man every day, time that subsequently could be spent at games and rituals, at leisurely creating language together. I never think for a long time hoping to find solutions. Suddenly the solution is in my head as if it had always been there. Without effort, fire occurs and the beast becomes roast. I don't split atoms. All to me is totalities, and I hold on to as many of them as possible. Any division is a weakening. Strength is accumulation, gathering 5 fingers to form a fist.
Fish is better.
Yes, fish it's a better poem this way. Punching down a man to take over a woman. Coming up with things has always been my primary characteristic in this society. This is your chance to understand how the world was created in my life. I can't explain from where the ideas came. They were like children born by nobody, both a part of me and strangers. I'm both God and man facing God. I often do unnecessary things. I don't consider why. I guess they play a part. It's neither fun nor earnest kicking pebbles. There is no one else to relate to regarding innovation. Nevertheless, my creations, deposits in archaeological layers along with all that the others have left behind, and exist only in all earnest as something more thriving than fossils if I write them down. Well, I don't know that you since have called my time the Stone Age, but I would rather think about me having lately taught myself to mash the food because I no longer have teeth. The Mash Age would therefore be a name that could come to mind. We don't make use of all our options, but those that I can't see me either. Those that I can see can also see me. Most things I do out of necessity when I write, it's always pointless. Eats, beats, shits, piss, yell, rip, drink, kick, throw, walk, run, jump, burp, bleed, drool, share, fuck, write. I don't think anyone understands me. Have you considered that it might be with you that the idea of a non-intervening God occurred? Or rather that it was in me in the shape of an idea of you. You are my dad in the future, or the dad of God. If only I could share my knowledge of the Stone Age with you, but I don't know what I know and take action without considering why. I guess you can. I can't say that I am the opposite of a tourist. I'm not going to see the Eiffel Tower tomorrow. I don't know who I am, but I take care of myself. When it's night, I can't tell heaven from earth. I can see nothing except for star constellations. In them I sense all that I know from the hours of day. Animals, plants, humans, stones. The Stone Age is a way of life to me. I can't imagine another. Being a beast is for fools. There is no possibility to dream away from this place, from this time. It's an authentic experience. I live off the commodities that are in season when the commodities that are there are not in season anymore. The commodities have been there too long. The repetitions create trust that you know where the sun first appears, where it disappears, that this branch can carry the weight. My first years took place in a state of paranoia, poisoning, falls, burns. But on the other hand, accidents hit me with greater force now. I'm the first human that is not 100% instinct driven. In other words, that I don't know. I don't always react as the surroundings expect. I am the unknown in an equation, and there are no mathematicians to figure me out. Everybody knows what it means when you have moved large stones. Large stones are harder to move than small stones. When you have moved large stones, it means that you've moved large stones. Everybody knows what it means when you have moved large stones. Large stones are harder to move than small stones. When you've moved large stones, it means that you've moved large stones. Everybody knows what it means when you've moved large stones. Large stones are harder to move than small stones. When you've moved large stones, it means that you have moved large stones. When I started naming, I thought it was a foreseeable task. Maximum 100 items and animals had to be named. And no, I can't count, but I would claim that I had a feeling of something like that. Then I got started and the task grew bigger. I discovered differences I had not seen before, because now I made an effort to distinguish.
And we will have a short break. We do a quick turnaround. We need to tune and change. And if you like, you can taste some pulimut over there. If you dare. It's self-service.
Is this oh, did I tell you?